Spoiler alert.
Go.
So it starts with Falcon now being the new Captain America. He's busting through, coming into New York. Finally, we get a battle in New York again since Avengers #1. He's chasing down Carly, who has been holding these political prisoners. Winter Soldier's there, and Sharon Carter is also in the area. They're fighting. They do all this crazy stuff, which we'll get into. They're doing more crazy acrobatics. John Walker's there with a new black suit. The other super soldier, the black super soldier, gets a statue in his memory. Bucky finally tells Yuri that he killed his son. Sharon Carter gets a pardon from the U.S. government, and it turns out that she's actually a bad guy, and they might be working
10 seconds left.
Or there's a possibility that she might be a Skrull. We don't know who she's talking to, and George St. Pierre is back in the fold.
Stop.
Boom.
I love how you started out
so
slowly
hard.
explaining too much of the beginning, then you're like, oh shit, and you just started picking it
It's
up.
hard. It's hard.
I saw the timer. Oh man. So what's going on, guys? We are back for episode 6 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and this is probably the best episode that was put out.
Yes.
It
was so good.
It begins with us finally seeing what was in the box with Falcon's brand new Captain America suit, and it looks amazing.
It is so good.
that Wakandan armor just looks beastly on him. And they're going into New York because they get the call that the Flag Smashers are going to be where they're at, and they're taking political prisoners. There's a whole bunch of stuff that has happened. Bucky gets a call where I think it's Carly on the phone, and he's misdirecting him away from all the political prisoners so that they can get away, and they get into these big brake trucks, and they have them locked down.
Oh yeah.
So
And they set fire to those trucks too.
they do.
Bucky has to try to get the people out, and he's calling for, because John Walker is on that mission, I believe, with Bucky, because
John
Falcon's
Walker
doing
shows up
something
again.
else.
John Walker shows up again after healing due to the super soldier serum. And he kind of has that arc that I was talking about in the second episode, when I said, like, I'm hoping that he has a redemption story where instead of him being just hated as Captain America, he does kind of have that redemption story because he helps Bucky and Falcon.
they team up.
He comes in with this really crappy shield.
That thing does not last.
This thing gets busted.
It's like immediately the thing gets trashed.
It's like the plastic shield that I bought from Halloween USA a couple years ago.
True that.
But he's strong enough to help save the political prisoners enough for Falcon to swoop in because they're hanging from a bridge. It has all the action that you want from what we've seen in the Captain America episodes and what we've seen in the Falcon Winter Soldier.
Definitely.
It has all that action.
And that introduction of when we first see the full outfits of Falcon being his new gear, it was so good.
I loved Sam in this episode, like everything he was doing. When he's like lifting and picking up that truck, because like John Walker tries to do it, he's not successful. I think that's what happened. And then Sam comes in, and one thing I noticed, I was just discussing with Jennifer when I was watching it, was that when Sam as Falcon and now Captain America, when he's doing things that like lifting heavy things or doing things like that, I think in my head like, oh well, he never had the serum, he never took it like Steve, I forgot his name since he's not around anymore. He didn't take the serum like Steve Rogers, but the way he's able to do it, Jennifer kind of mentioned like Iron Man based, like he's not Iron Man, but with his like jetpacks and how he like zooms back, and that's how like
Iron Man does it.
Yeah,
because whenever Iron Man has to do something like an Age of Ultron, when he has to lift up the city, when there's in all these different movies, he's got to use his suit to assist him in anything. Yeah, because he doesn't have strength.
Exactly, because I kind of questioned that for a minute. I'm like, wait a minute, he's he can't do certain things like Steve did without that
Mhm.
strength, but yes, he can with his armor and everything. So
Mhm.
I just kind of, I don't know, made that observation. And so he's like a different kind of Captain America because he's still
Yeah.
able to do things that Steve, did or could do, but
Mhm.
he does it in his own way. It's pretty
It
cool.
makes him more vulnerable
Oh, definitely.
because when it's Captain America, yes, he can get hurt, he can get shot, and if he gets
Yeah,
shot, he's going to be
it's
hurt.
true.
But he's not. Sam has trained himself to be like Captain America, where Steve, when he got the serum, because not only did he get super strong, his mind got super sharp as well, and he could calculate how to throw the shield so that it bounces back to him.
That's
Mhm.
true.
With Falcon, he's trained himself to do this stuff, where he's basically made his mind go. He's basically made his mind go up to 100%, where he's
Mhm.
throwing this stuff and he's able to bring it back to himself, and he's strong enough to throw it, where
Mhm.
it brings it back to it. Unlike John Walker, where he would throw the shield and it would stick to something and it would go
Yeah.
into
Mhm.
something. He threw it too hard.
You could
Falcon.
probably say too with Sam, like
Mhm.
the rigorous training that the military goes through and how they've got, be aware if there's snipers and everything that goes on in the
He has
military.
high level of alert.
High level of
Yeah.
alert. So when he was training what we saw in episode 5, he did all that training and then he was probably using all that stuff he,
Yeah.
absorbed from the military, and like that's like when it goes like full blast, and you can see that in this battle too, the way he's acting.
Yeah, because
and
you have to think on your feet, and he's able to do that with his
Mhm.
background and training.
He so what he lifts this truck, and it's not because he has super strength, because he has the technology to help him do that, just like how Tony did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he's able to save all these people. And unfortunately, and again, we said spoiler at the beginning of the episode, um, he's kind of able to talk to Carly
Mhm.
and try to bring her down, but she still gets shot by Sharon Carter, who
Yeah.
That was intense.
they
Oh, and in that moment, it was revealed to the audience that Sharon was the
power
Power
broker.
broker.
power broker.
Which a lot of people said online that, in a way, it's like we kind of all knew that's what it was going to
Yeah.
be in a
Yeah.
sense.
She like verbally confirmed it in that moment.
But at the
'Cause
same
she
time, it's
brought-
like, dude, this is Sharon Carter. What the hell's the matter with her?
Well, because she also brought back the Leaper, who's played by George St. Pierre, and I'm just happy that they have George St. Pierre in this because he's one of my favorite UFC fighters of all time. And he's actually good at what he's doing. He's acting very well. I mean, you can't understand anything he's saying because he's speaking French, but that's the actual character. That's what the Leaper is. He's a Frenchman who's stealing things. They brought him in. She brought him in, and she's very much double agent right now. And it's shown a lot actually. Where this is the rumors going around that Sharon Carter is going to be the villain in Captain America 4, since they've officially announced that Cap 4 is happening with Bucky, or not Bucky, Falcon.
I know,
as-
but I wish Bucky would be in it.
Oh, he's not.
He's
gonna be
part
in
of
I'm pretty
Team.
sure
I
Cap-
believe
I'm
he's
pretty
part
sure
of
Bucky's
Team
gonna be in
Cap.
I'm pretty sure Bucky's going to be in it.
I wanted
Um,
to point out in the scene when Carly was shot by Sharon Carter.
Mm.
I like pointing out parallels because Marvel's so good at doing this with their movies. A lot of people noticed online. I want to see if you guys noticed it. But when Carly throws this like long metal pole and then Bucky catches it, it's very, very similar to Infinity War when Wanda and Vision were attacked by two of the Thanos's like henchmen or whatever. They came to Scotland where Wanda and Vision were like hiding out, and they went for a walk in the street. And then
in the train station.
when they throw the pole, and then this is the big entrance
Yeah.
of Steve Rogers, Captain America, when the train goes
Yeah.
by, and he grabs the pole like that.
Mhm.
And it was the same like in that scene, and I love seeing Marvel doing those parallels like that, and you could pick up on it. So
Mhm.
It's also kind of parallel to when he caught the shield back in Captain America: Winter Soldier,
Mhm.
where
that's cute too.
it's
Oh yeah, I remember that.
they do love to do this new stuff. They do love to do the parallels to old stuff, but it's when they talked about earlier episodes and they really talked about the racial overtones that were going to be in, or racial undertones and overtones that were going to be in the series, we didn't really see that too much. They didn't like drown it out, which they could have if they really wanted to. People are still going to watch. They'll complain about it just like they did in Captain Marvel,
Uh-huh.
girl power. Who cares? Like, no, I'm not saying who cares about the girl power. I'm saying who cares why you're complaining.
No, it was just funny the way you said like, who cares?
Yeah. We see the racial undertones and overtones because once this whole battle is done, Carly's dead.
Yeah.
And the flag smashers have been stopped. I think George St. Pierre gets away. The Leaper gets away. I'm pretty sure.
There was several of them that got away in that armored truck.
Yeah. So they all get away, which is they'll just have that for the next movie or whatever episodes they decide to do. He talks to the senators about how Carly wasn't wrong. She was just focusing on this on the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Where where the government's focusing on people who came back, and they weren't focusing on the people who were here before, who kept the world running.
Yeah, that speech was amazing that he did, and
it goes through back.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. So go ahead.
In the episode of Assembled that was put out a week after they put out episode 6, they actually discussed a little bit behind the scenes stuff about that speech. Anthony Mackie was on the phone for a lot of hours with one of the people who write the scripts. And so it was them talking back and forth constantly about making sure that every single thing like Anthony agreed with, is this like the perfect wording for stuff. It was just incredible, that whole speech together, and it was just awesome. But I did want to point out that they did want to make sure that they got that right, because it was so powerful, so moving.
Oh, yeah.
And then you see Bucky in the background just like nodding his head like, look, see, Steve, there's our boy, we got it right.
Yeah. See, because even in the 5th episode, because I don't really remember if we focused on this in a little bit, Bucky even said, I can't imagine there being a black Captain America. He even says in that speech, people aren't going to like me as Captain America. People are going to love me as Captain America. But I'm going to do what I can to be the best Captain America there is.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows that he's not focusing on the people who are going to tell him that he's not Captain America. They don't believe that he can be Captain America because of his skin color.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do what he feels is right, whether it be helping people out of a burning building or helping people who are getting hurt by the KKK, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be helping everybody and anybody because that's what he does. And what's crazy is that this whole New York thing, this whole battle, only takes place for half the episode. This isn't a long thing that happens. There's a lot of stuff after, because they don't sell the boat, which is good. Sarah's able to keep her boat and
that picnic thing was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and the little kids are hanging onto like Bucky's arm,
and then he's coming and acting like almost like an uncle or a dad with his sunglasses on. He's got that cake and he's like, ah.
Sebastian Stan.
And that ending when they're standing with the sunsets, and that Marvel does such a good job with picking out songs. I love that song that they picked.
What was the song?
On and On, or
it's a good like, I believe it's like 1970s. It looks like smooth.
Yeah.
It's a smooth song.
It's so good the way they all keyed it in that last moment where we see Sam and Bucky looking off in the distance. It was just so good. Well, especially because we got a nice Sebastian like gaze look out into the horizon, and he smiled his nice smile.
So that's the happy ending. There are a bunch of other stuff that happens. Bucky tells Yuri that he's the one that killed his son. We don't really get anything after that. We see Yuri is okay though.
Mm-hmm. I think he finally can move on because he knows what happened to his son then.
Yeah, but Bucky won't talk to him, and you see that because he walks past the Chinese restaurant that they were at, in the
Mhm.
very first episode, so he walked past them.
That girl
Um,
finally came back for like a couple seconds.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
His
After that
date.
awkward date.
Um, he puts a note on the chair for his psychiatrist, telling him that he's all good. He doesn't need to do this anymore.
Leaves the notebook, right?
The notebook, yeah.
Steve's
He should have
With all
kept
the-
that because that was Steve's.
I was like, why did he
Mhm.
give it up?
We see Sharon Carter get
Oh
pardoned by the U.S. government,
Mhm.
and when she's walking out of the Capitol building or whatever building that was, I think it was the Capitol building, I'm pretty sure. She's calling somebody saying that she's back in the U.S. and she has full ability to do whatever she wanted to.
yeah, full
Yeah.
access.
Yeah.
Full access to weapons, secrets, everything. I'm like,
Mhm.
what
And
the
I was
hell?
like, wouldn't after they like gave her that pardon and basically an apology, like what a slap in the face that she did to them, and then basically just an abuse of power, you know, like
Right.
who knows, we'll see what happens with her role, but from her role in this series, she just comes off as, you know, the villain. Like I've always explained since I think episode 2 or 3 when we first saw her, I'm like, oh, Dark Sharon, that's what I've been referring to her
Mhm.
as.
She's almost to me, she's almost a bad version of Nick Fury.
Hmm?
You never really know what Nick Fury's doing.
Oh my
Um,
god.
True.
But usually
Where's he
when
at
he
now?
comes out of hiding, he's helping. Her, you don't really know what she's gonna do, but you can tell that it's not gonna be good, unless this is gonna be pulled into like a triple agent thing where she's actually helping the U.S., but she's just trying
Yeah.
to do other things.
Like undercover.
I hope we
or
get
whatnot.
other background information in the future because she really pulled a 180.
There's gonna be, I mean, they're doing Captain America 4. She's probably gonna be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Likely.
And then the big part was, to me at least, this is probably the most major thing because he's probably going to be in Captain America 4 as well, is that John Walker is no longer Captain America, but now he is officially U.S. agent.
Yeah, Mike brought that up. He predicted that that they
I
were
mean,
going to bring
yeah.
it in.
For most fans of the comics, they knew that.
Mhm.
I mean, Sharon Carter, technically, in the comics at least, she becomes Captain America as well, or a Captain America. I think they call her like Star Spangled or something like that.
Oh.
But she's a version of Captain America. He becomes U.S. agent, and what he doesn't know is that the woman that's helping him is actually Madam Hydra. So Hydra's still lurking around. There's still
Stupid Hydra.
And we'll
I-
see that in Black Widow you mentioned, right?
yes, yep.
I actually saw someone on someone's car the other day on their back windshield. There was a little Hydra sticker, and I was like, "Hail Hydra!" when I was driving.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
So there's still a lot of stuff that they have predicted that they're doing in the future. So they're really leaving off with a lot of cliffhangers, even though
Mhm.
the actual ending shot is Steve and Bucky looking off into the horizon. We're really
Steve.
not Steve, Sam
Sam Bucky.
and Bucky. Sam
But
and
at
Bucky
the
looking-
same time that I feel like they wrapped up the series or the season. That's the thing. We don't know what's going on because some
There's
people
rumors,
there's
I don't
rumors
know.
that they're labeling this as a drama and there could be more seasons in the future. But the way they wrapped it up very well, I feel like.
yeah,
I want to like mention something now that we talked about rumors online. What's been driving me nuts is how fans keep creating these like posters of advertising that there's going to be a Disney Plus series with Steve returning the stones. It's like the last mission or something, and I'm just like, it looks so legit and real, and it's not, and Disney Plus didn't confirm anything. It would be really cool though.
Yeah, they
It'd be
do a
really
lot of
cool.
fan art and they
But
put
like,
it out
yeah,
there. And...
I just wanted to mention that because it would be awesome. But I've seen a lot of that fans making it up.
I don't know what Chris Evans signed on for, but he did sign back with Marvel. I don't know what he signed on for, but he signed back with Marvel.
There's something going on because in a way they really, even in this episode 6 concluding it, you know, we know that Steve is gone and Captain America's like gone, but they never really say anything.
Mhm.
It's not like there was no funeral, there was a lot of details.
They leave it very unconfirmed and open, so that
Yeah.
way, you know, you don't know what's gonna happen. They
For
can
all we
leave it
know, he
open
could
to
be in
hover.
Captain America 4. You never know. Maybe
Yeah,
they might do
he
something
could actually be
there.
on the moon.
Do moon stuff. They show that when he's on the Ellen DeGeneres show doing that dance.
Yeah. he's
That was great.
he's probably just chilling on the moon. No, there's so much stuff that could happen because again, in the comic books, there's multiple things where Steve has gone from a Hydra agent to being an old man to doing a whole bunch of different stuff to
Mhm.
coming back as Captain America. So they have a lot of avenues to do what they want, and but they also have the avenue to just do something completely different. He
Mhm.
could just be dead. We have no idea.
I hope not.
But they killed Tony, so they really have no gripes about really killing anybody.
Mm,
So
so
I
sad.
can't with that.
So sad.
So we're gonna do our rankings or not our rankings, our ratings for this episode, and I have to give it a 10. They leave it off with a lot of cliffhangers, but they also finish it in a good way.
Mhm.
Sam looks damn good in that Captain America suit.
Yes, he does.
And Bucky's finally coming out of being depressive and almost kind of scary whenever he's with Sam, to where he's laughing and hitting on his sister.
They actually called him Sergeant Bucky
Yeah.
in this episode
Oh,
too.
I know.
I forgot to bring that up.
I'd
And,
give it a 10
so,
too.
10.
I'd give it a 10. And I do want to bring up a parallel with Bucky that I didn't bring up before. So in Winter Soldier, in Captain America Winter Soldier, he does this thing when he jumps off a car where he does this thing with his arm and it's all that screeching metal sparks flying. They did that in this episode again. And
Oh,
you
yeah, they
haven't
did,
seen it
yeah.
since. So he did that on the street and it was like, yes.
That's boss.
Mhm.
Love it.
So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Tell us in the comments what you felt about this series and what you're expecting from Loki, which is what we're going to be talking about in June. And let us know who your favorite superhero is after the blip happened. So we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
See ya.